We have everybody. Of course, Brother Copeland will be here later at the 7 o'clock hour. We'll be able to talk more about that. Then we have Jonathan Kahn joining us. Michelle Bachman will be joining us tonight via video. And we also have a guest coming up right now, Glenn Beck. Is he ready? He's ready? All right, let me introduce you. If you don't know who Glenn Beck is, you've been living under a rock. There, I said it. Glenn Beck's an American conservative political commentator, radio host, television producer, CEO, founder, and owner of Mercury Radio Arts, and of course, the parent company of his radio network, The Blaze. Mr. Beck, are you with us?
I am. How great to be with you. Thank you.
Yeah, we're so glad you joined. First off, tell a lot of the viewers that are watching the network tonight your connection with Kenneth Copeland.
Ken watched me on Fox for years, he and his wife, and invited me, to their home. I don't even know when. And we've just become dear friends.
Yeah, and you are a good friend of this ministry, and thank you for joining us tonight. I know you're busy tonight. I want to get your take right off the top. What do you think we're going to see? Does President Trump take the White House?
With caveats, lots of caveats, because I can't separate myself from, what I think maybe the Lord is trying to tell me. And what the Lord is trying to tell me is trouble is coming no matter which way we go. One is a faster route, but there's trouble. And we need to stand and know what we stand for. What I'm watching for tonight is I'm banking that the Trafalgar polling was right. And so I am looking to see if the early polls are wrong with their predictions. And if they are, and Trafalgar looks like it's going to be right, I think the president has a very good night. They're not going to call it for really anybody. They won't call it. They'll call it for Biden, but they won't call it for Trump. They will use everything they can to make sure that they keep hope alive for Joe Biden, and I think put fuel on the fire of the streets.
Yeah. All right. Earlier today, you talked about on your radio program about some issues that you see coming up in a Zoom call. Can you tell our viewers about that?
Yeah, it was really very disturbing. It was BLM, Protect the Vote, and I can't remember the other. They had a Zoom call with all the leaders that are planning 200 events that are, I would call them riots, but of course they're just peaceful protests. 200 across the nation, starting tonight in Washington, D.C., and then tomorrow around the rest of the country. And they were coldly giving instructions on, we have to get into government buildings. If you have to break a window, break a window. This is a war, and these people who are Trump people are gun owners. And so you better know that the person with the gun wins. And it was terrifying talk. I don't know when it's enough to call this insurrection. But I think tomorrow we may be having a different conversation, no matter who wins. And that is, how do we not go into civil war?
Right. Later on tonight, we're going to have Pat Robertson from 700 Club join us, and he shares some of your concerns. And I think I want you to speak to the conservative Christian votes that are sitting out there watching right now. Tonight's race is important, obviously, but there's so much more that we need to be concerned about in the days going forward.
I would say you have to prepare yourself physically, temporally, financially, and most of all, spiritually. I've talked about this for almost 20 years, and I really feel strongly that this is the culmination. This is the beginning of what I had been talking about way back on CNN and Fox, and the things that, quite honestly, the Lord showed me. And it's a pretty terrifying vision. And you're going to see, if we as a nation vote for something that is so clearly darkness. I mean, we are talking about 8-year-olds being able to make their own choice and change their sex. Sex is something that comes from the divine. He assigns, not us. We're talking about the anti-Christian, anti-church, anti-faith. all of the embrace of everything that is bad, traditionally that is bad and evil, if we openly vote for that, we are going to get what we deserve. And we are in a battle between good and evil, unlike I could have possibly even imagined 20 years ago. I didn't understand how men's hearts would fail them. Men's hearts are failing them now. They're refusing to stand up. They're afraid to speak up. They're afraid to say their point of view. It only gets harder from here. And we really need to rely on the Lord and listen to him, and be slow to rise up in violence or in anger. Be quick to rise up for righteous living and righteous principles. We have to now play this game and demand that we are on God's side, not the other way around. God he's on all man's side. He wants all of his children to come home. And the only way to win this is if we are on God's side, because I truly believe darkness and evil and Satan almost unleashed, and it is coming barreling down at us like I couldn't even have imagined 20 years ago.
About 3 sermons right there. Because believers have to we can't take our foot off the gas. And it's very important that we don't do that, right?
We are at a place now that American Christians have never been before.
That's right.
And the days of easy Christianity, those days are over. I personally believe, and I know no man will know the time, and et cetera, but I personally believe that we could be within a decade of the tribulation and the return of Christ shortly thereafter. It's astounding to me when Joe Biden said yesterday, and Kamala Harris echoed these words, that they'll reach right back out to the Palestinians and continue aid and change course in the Middle East. There is one side that is righteous, and it is not the side of the Iranians and the deals that we were making that have failed us over and over again. We are close to something really miraculous for the first time, which makes sense to me on why it's being ripped away.
And, I applaud you because you were talking about this years ago. You were sounding a warning, raising a warning flag years ago, talking about this very thing.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I know you're a busy guy tonight, so we appreciate you taking out time. Our America Stands family.
God bless you. Thank you for
you
everything that you guys do. Thank you.
Thank you.